Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is here, and what an emotional ride it was. It also brings James Gunn's run in the MCU to a close, as well as the final chapter of these Guardians of the Galaxy. I will say that the hype is real, guys, and right off the bat, I want to pose some questions to you. Is this the best trilogy within the MCU? And outside of that, where does it stand against other comic book movie trilogies? Let's talk about it. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Jones Vibes, the place where vibes go to vibe. If you're new to my channel, I talk about all things movies and television, and I'm also going nowhere. Right off the bat, I want to tell you that this is a spoiler review, so there is your warning, and also be sure to give this video a like if you enjoy it, and stick around to the end because I'm going to be giving my star rating. But okay, guys, Guardians Volume 3 is here. It's crazy that this movie is finally here, and it really feels like the MCU needed this one. They needed a win, and this is more than that. I'd be so bold to say that this is already a top 5 MCU film for me. Where in that 5 it is, I don't know. But my general thoughts are that this was just one of the most beautiful and emotional comic book movies that I've ever had the pleasure of watching. And what I mean by that is that James Gunn has just created and established such a rich history for these characters. Truthfully, before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, I didn't know or care about these characters at all. I even remember seeing the first trailer and I was like, well, it has Andy from Parks and Rec in it. I mean, I guess it might be all right. But James Gunn took it and he said, hold up, let me cook. In a lot of ways, this highlights the other two films in a huge way and even adds more connective tissue, cementing this as a true trilogy. But as always, his character work and writing was so well thought out, and Gunn strategically saved Rocket's story for this final installment. And look, I knew that this was going to be emotional going in. I am a very big animal person. I have a dog that is my life, and I care a lot. But anytime there's an animal in a movie that's going through something or having a rough time, no pun, it's just really hard to watch. Fox and the Hound screwed me up, man. Also, this is kind of a fun fact. I found out that James Gunn modeled Rocket's mouth after his dog's exact mouth. Like, they took a digital scan and stuff, and so if you ever thought that there's something more there that resonates with you, kind of like in a dog way, it's probably that. But Rocket has honestly been a huge part of this trilogy, and we have to credit Bradley Cooper for bringing so much heart to this performance. And the backstory that James Gunn wrote for him hit me so hard. These poor animals are being experimented on, and all they have is each other and friendship. They're so happy to be around one another, even if they're locked in a cage, and they just dream of being free. And so by the time they meet their unfortunate end, you feel the same way that Rocket does. But he did such a good job on each individual animal, and the CGI was flawless. Like, it was Lila and Floor, the little bunny, and Teeps. All of them together just made this little misfit family. And when Rocket kind of goes to that heaven space, there's a white glow, and you see Lila kind of waddling in the distance up to him. And she talks with him, and she tells him that, Rocket, this has been your story all along. And we also understand as the audience that whenever he does meet his end, whenever Rocket does die someday down the road, he's gonna go back to that place and be with his friends. Like, that was just so emotional to me, guys. Like, oh, this movie got me so good. But it's all due to this high evolutionary guy. And what the hell, man? Where has this actor been? Pardon my pronunciation here, but Chukwudi Iwuji, this guy and this character, was so phenomenal and so evil. There is no sympathy to be had for him. He was a true villain, and you hurt Rocket, you need to die. It really shocked me though, because I wasn't expecting the villain of this movie to be that good. But he was, and this plot was so good and so entertaining. It had a little bit of everything. The comedy lands, but it also wasn't afraid to get dark. Like, it wasn't afraid to go there. And the clear standouts for me in this movie were not who I expected them to be. Nebula was fantastic. Karen Gillan really brought it, and I really liked how we finally peel back some layers of that character. Not just physically like Thanos, but mentally and emotionally. It's one of those things where now when I see her in Infinity War or Endgame, I feel like I'm gonna see her in a whole new light. Mantis is also a similar story. Like, she's a bit newer to the group, but she really has earned her spot. Like, that relationship between her and Drax is absolutely priceless, and we saw that a bit in the Christmas special, but it was expanded so much in this one. I also wanted to highlight Kraglin, Sean Gunn. And honestly, his character's probably taken me the longest to appreciate, just because It's James Gunn's brother, but giving his character in Volume 3 the Yondu connection with the flying arrow was perfect. It was such a solid choice, and it made him feel like such an important piece to this story. And I wasn't thinking that. And I should also mention Cosmo, because she is a good dog. It's also rumored now that Crypto is gonna be in Superman Legacy, so now we know that James Gunn is good with a dog, and that makes James Gunn my dog. But who haven't I mentioned yet? Adam Warlock, Will Poulter. You know, I saw something online about them not giving his character enough time in this movie, and I don't know what the hell they're talking about. He was in it a lot. He was given his own complete story arc, going from somebody that is the enemy to somebody that's willing to lend a helping hand and actually feels a part of something in the end. I absolutely loved him. I really hope he shows up again, as well as that little animal thing that was with him. But everyone was great. You know, Peter and Gamora were fantastic, and they had a really nice little storyline. I like how eventually Gamora kind of recognized that love that the other Gamora used to have for Peter. She saw that spark and how in another world, maybe that could exist. Drax, Dave Bautista, was given so much time in Volume 1 and Volume 2 that he kind of took a back seat in this one, but as always, he was incredible. I actually half expected him to die, and I'm very happy he didn't, although Dave Bautista has said that this will be his last time playing Drax. I don't know if that's true or not, or if that's gonna happen, but that's what he says. But last, and certainly not least, Groot, and he was everything that we needed him to be in this one. He was Groot. And I liked at the end, I don't know if you caught this, but Groot speaks, but nobody acknowledges it, and apparently that's because the audience finally has gotten to a place where they can understand what he is saying. But it was just a hell of a ride. The soundtrack, fire. The set pieces, dope. Everything about Volume 3 just fit the bill. They save all the kids and the animals. No one dies, which again was relieving. And Rocket leads this new team into the future, while Quill kind of pulls a Captain America and decides to go live his life. It was great. It was hilarious seeing him sitting at the breakfast table and just being like, you know, he should be pulling his weight around here. I'm not gonna just let him sit and watch me mow the lawn. Like, he needs to do something around the house. He's 45. But I thought about my rating for this movie for quite a while, and honestly, I couldn't think to give this anything else but a perfect score. 5 out of 5 stars. And you know, sometimes with MCU movies, I can be a little high on things just because I love the MCU so much, but this movie feels different. Like, genuinely, this was a good movie. And I really think that this trilogy will stand the test of time and go down as one of the best comic book movie trilogies of all time. Like, it's crazy to me that James Gunn did that, and doesn't it give you so much hope for the future of DC? Now I'm looking at Superman Legacy like, holy shit, that's probably gonna be incredible. And Marvel is losing a good one here. I'm just curious to see what happens with the MCU. But what did you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? I've really only seen positivity surrounding this movie so far, so feel free to put your take down in the comments because I'd love to hear what you thought. Also, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and leave a like. That would help the channel enormously. And I'd also love to see you come back here, so hit that subscribe button, join the Jones Vibes community, and check back for more content. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has cemented this trilogy in my Trilogy Hall of Fame. But where do they go from here? I guess we'll see.
Jones Vibes.